If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
Welcome into the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles, Sean Crocshaw producing for us. So happy to be back. I love doing this every Saturday, 10 to noon. Thanks for tuning in.
It's what I look forward to every week, man. Getting to sit here next to you and Sean, sometimes Parker, and break down the weekend sports, man.
How was your week?
It was pretty good. Just working a lot, man. It's that time of year where, first and pull back the curtain a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot of work that went into the change and everything that's been happening in the station, and having a really great time working alongside Lloyd, working along Scotty, working alongside the coach. But then on top of that, it's boys soccer season, man. And so there's the state tournament was kicking and rolling this week. There's some championship games played on Monday, a lot of quarterfinal games on Tuesday, a lot of quarterfinal games yesterday, and then just working all the sports, man, working all the things around here, the state of Utah. It's a good time.
Ole.
Or I guess I should say ole. Shout out Lloyd.
Shout out Alex Napoles.
There you go, man.
Oh man, this week it's been a beautiful week, man. I love. It got
really hot,
dude. It got too hot Monday, Tuesday.
A little too hot too quickly. But
it's supposed to be cold tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly. It's supposed to come back down a little bit.
I have a funny story to start off with before we dive into sports, because I'm sure a lot of our listeners can relate. It's that time of the year to turn on your sprinkler system, right? A lot of, some people did it earlier probably, but like the city of Layton asked that we didn't turn our sprinklers on until May 15th. So, I was trying to do it yesterday, but for those that don't know, last fall, I completely redid my lawn. I didn't do anything fancy. There was just no grass and like a ton of weeds, so I tore everything out, put a bunch of new dirt, bunch of new grass seed on. The lawn was beautiful. It was amazing. And then I went to turn on my sprinklers, but there's a little tube in the ground that you have to stick like a key in there and twist it to turn the sprinklers on. That got covered by all the grass and dirt that I put down, so I can't find it. So I can't turn on my sprinklers.
That's not good.
I was literally on my hands and knees, like crawling around. I know the general area, like a 2 by probably 3 square foot area of where this thing is. I just cannot find it because it's buried. I haven't had a ton of time to look for it. Today I'm hoping to spend some time.
You're going to have to manually water your lawn, man.
No.
You're going to have to stand out there with the hose.
I could.
Yeah, you could.
That's what my neighbor does. It's really funny. She's old. Bless her heart. But no, I don't know, man. It's just funny because, like I said, I was on my hands and knees, like crawling around, and like all these cars are passing by. They're probably like, what the heck is that guy doing? And I'm like knocking, and like I've got a bunch of different tools that I'm like stabbing into the ground trying to find this thing, and people probably think I'm...
Yeah, if I would have drove by, I would have judged. For sure. I'd be like, what's this guy doing?
So I'll keep you updated.
Let me know.
I'll let you know.
Let me know.
I'll come back next Saturday with a report. My lawn needs it. It's dying. So we will see. But Alex, let's jump right in. Big week, obviously, last Sunday starting things off with the NBA draft lottery. And what do you know? The Jazz finally have some luck. It's the first time ever that they've moved up with their own pick in the lottery. Not only do they move up into a great spot. They had the 4th best odds, and they move up to 2 and I was producing the draft lottery show with Ben Anderson and Chandler Holt. And they do a phenomenal job every year. Because, it's pretty confusing how it works. But Ben's sitting there and he's like, okay, if this team, it's like pick 5 or whatever, 6 or 5. And Ben's like, okay, if it's this team, it's good for the Jazz. And then it gets to 5 and there's no Jazz yet. So it's like, okay, they have a top 4 pick. Then they take a break. They come back in and pick number 4 is Chicago. Yeah. Pick number 3 is Memphis. And it's like, oh, we're cooking. And then pick number 2 is Utah. And it's not the number 1 pick, but taking the number 2 pick in this draft class.
You'll take it.
You'll
absolutely take it all day, every day. I was tuning into, so I had it obviously on my television at home. I had the draft, the lottery going, and then on my phone, on the KSL Sports app, I had you guys pulled up. I had Ben Anderson and Chandler Holt, your guys' stuff pulled up. And then, so I was, when I didn't see Chicago and when I didn't see Memphis, I was like, all right, those 2 moved up. And then I got kind of nervy there when, they pull out Sacramento, and I'm like, dude, if this is the Jazz coming up here.
Yeah.
But then Brooklyn showed up, and I was like.
And poor Brooklyn, they fall.
Yeah.
That sucks for them.
Yep. They fell. And I think kind of lost, too, in all this is the Pacers situation. They trade for Zubac.
Yeah.
Top 4 protected pick, and then
go to 5.
Here you go. You fall to 5, and you lose your pick.
That's tough.
This is a tough draft to lose that pick.
It is a tough draft to lose that pick, but in hindsight,
was Zubac worth it?
Well, we'll see. I mean, he hasn't played.
Yeah.
But that's a team that was in the finals last year, and they add one of the top 10 centers in the NBA, even if they're not able to get a top 5 pick as well. That trade gave them a 50-50 shot of adding that top 5 pick, and it just so happened that it didn't work out.
Right.
But I don't know. I do think it was a weird trade when it was first announced, right? That's the best that the Pacers could do. I mean, they couldn't offer anything else, but I get it. And what a move by the Clippers. I don't know, it's a weird move for them too, because they were a playoff team and then they pulled the plug.
Well, and they didn't have their pick.
And they didn't own their own pick.
They didn't own their own pick. That one was
it's conveyed to OKC.
Yeah, everybody was, the fact that everybody during the regular season was talking about, oh, this OKC team might be a lottery team, it's because of the pick that they had there with the Clippers.
Yeah. Weird stuff all the time. But let's talk about the Jazz, man, because my initial reaction was it's funny that they move up to 2 and not 1, because it's almost like Adam Silver dangling number 1 right in front of them. You got to be quicker than that. That commercial. What's that commercial?
I can't remember what company it was, but there's a guy with the fishing pole. He has a dollar on the end of it, and he's
you gotta be quicker than that.
Gotta be quicker than that. That's kind of what
that's
it felt
Adam Silver to the Jazz. But it is funny. The top 2 teams are the faces of tanking, right? The Wizards and the Jazz have been the 2 tankingest teams over the past 3 or 4 years. And they're the top 2 teams in this draft, and this is the last draft where you can actually tank. So it's funny that on the way out, right, the Jazz and the Wizards are going to get their guys, and then it's like, okay, no more tanking for us.
Yeah. Well, and one of the tweets that I saw that I thought was really funny after this all went down was there was a specific reporter who was in the lottery room watching this all unfold, and he tweets out, it just came out of the cave or whatever. The Jazz ended up winning that second, and they also went third. So it's funny that the Jazz, who have never moved up twice in this lottery, and of course because they had to respin, that's how Memphis got the number 3. So the Jazz got lucky twice on Sunday.
We had Sarah Todd. She covers the Jazz for the Deseret News. She was on with Jake and Ben earlier this week, and she put it. I really like the way she put it. It was almost like an exclamation point that the Jazz, spun 2 and then spun 3. It's almost like confirmation. Okay, we can move on from this tanking era, finally.
Yep.
And it's only been 4 years, which I say only. I mean, you look at how long the Pistons were bad for, or even how long the Wizards have been bad for. Some of these other teams, man, whether it's on purpose or not, they're bad for a lot longer than 4 years. And I know that it's felt like an eternity for Jazz fans because they went from one of the best teams in the West to one of the worst teams in the West
a team who's always making the playoffs.
Yeah, one of the winningest franchises in NBA history.
Right.
And they tank really for the first time in 20 years. Mm-hmm. It's a weird feeling, but it's over now. And still the draft to come, right? And that's when you can officially move on. But knowing where you're going to pick, I think that is a very good feeling
Yeah.
for not only the Jazz fans, but the front office as well. And Ryan Smith, who obviously gave the green light for Danny Ainge and Justin Zanuck to really enter this rebuild. It's time to move on, man. It's time to move forward.
It's paid off, and even though in the past couple of years, the Jazz haven't moved up, and the Jazz haven't had much lottery luck throughout this rebuild. Minus this past lottery that just happened. You got to give credit to that front office. You got to give credit to the scouting department. You got to give credit to guys like Danny Ainge and Austin Ainge, because even though they had the 9th pick, even though they had the 5th pick, even though they had players down the line, Sensabaugh, whatever pick he was taken at, was it 28? They've picked really well.
Yes,
and I can't say that about some other franchises, right? They're franchises who have had the luck of moving up, franchises who have had the luck of having multiple first-round picks, or whatever the case is.
Yeah,
the Jazz have drafted right, and you see that now with what the Jazz have. You see that now with Ace Bailey, with Bryce Sensabaugh, with Kyle Filipowski. And so even though they haven't had the most of luck moving up, except this year, they've still drafted what feels like the right players to bring to this franchise.
They're not all hits, and I mean the jury's still out on basically all these guys because they're still so young. I mean,
exactly.
Keontae's going into year 4, but last year he took a huge step forward. Taylor Hendricks was a huge part of that Jaren Jackson Jr. deal, so we'll see what his development looks like. Cody Williams, still a coin toss, but you mentioned, guys.
Well, and take talent out of the equation, too. Like, every single one of those guys are bought into the culture.
Yeah,
are
right.
Bought into what Will Hardy is preaching.
And that's important.
And that's massive. And that's another reason, too, why I look at how the Jazz have drafted, despite not having the luck of moving up in the past, and say, you know what, they're in a good spot. They're in a good spot. I think everybody in that front office should be feeling really good about where they are right now.
So the main thing I want to get into with this, being at pick number 2, there's been a lot of chatter over the past week, Alex. The Combine was in Chicago, and there are a lot of rumors, right? A lot of rumors about what the Jazz are going to do, well, what the Wizards are going to do, what the Jazz are going to do. Obviously, the Wizards are always going to field calls. Whoever's holding that number 1 pick is always going to take calls just because you got to do your due diligence, right? And the big question is, it's a funny scenario because A.J. Dybantsa is the presumed number 1 pick, right? And with his ties to BYU and Ryan Smith, the question is, are the Jazz going to trade up from 2 to 1? And that has been one of the main conversations really coming out of the Combine is, the Jazz like being a number 2, but they know A.J. Dybantsa. They have a really great relationship with him. Is it worth it for the Jazz to trade up? Just one spot. Just one spot, Alex.
I get it's a conversation you have to have, and I get it's a conversation that I think from the Utah Jazz fan perspectives, it's a conversation out there, that drives engagement. It's a conversation out there that it's fun to have on social media, and it's fun to see some of these mock trades, and fun to see people put out whatever. But I think there was a quote from Ryan Smith earlier this week that says that they'll exhaust every option to make sure that they're making the right decision or something along those lines. But I'm at the point where I'm like, you don't need to trade up to number 1.
Why not?
You don't need to mortgage your future. You don't need to mortgage a potential loss of, an Ace Bailey to get the number 1 pick, to entice Washington to give up the number 1 pick. When you have a draft that there are 4 changing players, I think, in the top 4. And at number 2, it just feels like you can't go wrong with that pick.
It's hard because the number 2 pick has a track record of, somebody put a graphic out there. The number 3 pick historically is a better place to be than the number 2 pick.
Michael Jordan was the 3rd.
Right.
Yeah.
And so often that is because, there's the number 1 pick. The team that ends up with the number 2 pick is like, oh, we missed out on number 1. We got to take a big swing here. And then, more times than not, maybe I shouldn't say more times than not, but more times at least than the 3rd pick, that doesn't work out because they feel pressured into taking a certain player. Fortunately for the Jazz with this draft, I don't think you're looking at that scenario at all. I think there are 3 players worthy of the number 1 pick.
Who are those 3?
A.J. Dybantsa, Darryn Peterson, and Cam Boozer.
Not a big Caleb Wilson guy?
Not worthy of the number 1 pick. I think he's definitely the next best prospect in this draft. I don't think he's the same level of prospect as Dybantsa or Cam or Darryn Peterson. But whoever picks him, whether that's the Bulls or the Grizzlies or somebody else, I mean, they're gonna like him. But we're talking about, Alex, like the best top 3 that you've seen in a draft in probably since 2003. You know, you go back to that LeBron James draft, and it's crazy, man. And it's a good spot for the Jazz to be in, and that's why I'm totally on board with you. It doesn't make sense for the Jazz to trade up. There was a report from Mark J. Spears, and he said the Jazz have contacted the Wizards about a trade. Now, that doesn't mean that they're interested at all. That just means they're gauging that, you know, basically filling out that the Wizards aren't stupid. Because, to be honest with you, if the price is a lot lower than what the Jazz are expecting, then maybe, you can entertain a trade.
Exactly, maybe take that gamble. But it doesn't seem like the Wizards are going to...
well, we don't know what they're asking, right?
Right, we don't know what they're asking, but if the Wizards are smart, if the Jazz are really that desperate to move up, then you swing big.
Well,
give us Ace Bailey.
Give us Lowry or something.
Yeah, exactly. One of your bigger name players, one of your better players, one of your younger developing stars like an Ace Bailey, and maybe we'll entertain giving you the number 1. But I just don't think that's worth it for the Jazz.
The only way the Wizards trade down is if they want Darryn Peterson over AJ Dybantsa. That's the only way they trade down. And maybe they're fine with either of them, so they sit at 1 and just take it, because the Jazz are not a dumb team. And I do hate that is the rumor floating around. You bring up the Ace Bailey trade. That is the trade that is being floated by a bunch of Washington people because they thought they were going to get Ace Bailey at 6 last year.
Yeah.
And the Jazz called Ace Bailey's bluff and drafted him, even though he had said he wasn't going to come play in Utah. So the Jazz took him, and you know what? The past year, it seems like Ace has really enjoyed his time in Salt Lake City. I haven't seen or heard anything that would indicate that he wants out, right? So we'll see how that goes, but why would you trade a really, really good prospect to move up? And, you know, if AJ Dybantsa and Darryn Peterson are the same tier of player, why would you care which one you get? That's really what it boils down to. And again, with the BYU ties, like, that's not a good enough excuse to, you kind of said it earlier, mortgage your future. Ace Bailey is part of the next great Jazz team. You know, maybe he doesn't play a role in the 2027 playoff team, right? But you start looking at the 2028, 2029, 2030 Jazz teams. That's going to be when Ace is really finding his stride. And those teams don't hit their ceiling if Ace Bailey's not there, along with whoever they pick this year at 2. So it just doesn't make sense at all. It is funny hearing the local ties, not only to AJ Dybantsa, though. Obviously, Cam Boozer, his dad not only played for the Jazz, but he's actually a scout for the Jazz right now. Carlos Boozer is. And Ryan Smith was on the Bill Simmons podcast yesterday, and he kind of talked about some of the ties with 2 of the 3 local top prospects. This is what Ryan Smith had to say.
There's a top 4, and you guys have these indirect ties with 2 of the 4, right? Where you have Boozer, who played for the Jazz for years, who had the best years of his career and is now involved with your team. And then AJ, who got pulled out, went to prep school there, went to BYU. I know you guys are a little bit involved with the, success of BYU. So you've probably gotten to know him a little bit, right?
Yeah. I mean, I go to BYU's like a mile from my house. So like, it's my alma mater. It's where I went to school. It's where I play hoops. It's cool that, a potential top pick or wherever it ends up is coming through here. And I'm sure all the Dukies feel the same way about Cam. And, it's kind of how it's gone. I mean, I get the amount of texts I get from everyone from Duke, and there's a lot of them, the decision's easy, whatever it is, they're coming. So, and you got the BYU contingent. It's like, there's a lot of drama around this and a lot of insight and narrative. And it's going to be an interesting 40 couple days here.
My main takeaway is I do not envy Ryan Smith's position right now at all. There's so much pressure on him from the people that he associates with on the day-to-day basis outside of the Jazz, right? And that being, the BYU alumni base.
Yes.
I can't imagine how many people are in his ear trying to say, Ryan, you got to trade up to 1. You got to keep AJ here. AJ, he's going to want to stay in Utah for his entire career. And that is a big draw. I'm not going to lie to you, Alex, but I think Ryan Smith knows to stay out of it, and he knows that this is not necessarily his decision to make. Ryan Smith does a great job of leaning on the basketball people to make these decisions, that being Austin Ainge, Danny Ainge, Justin Zanuck, right? Those guys are the decision makers. And sure, with a pick this high, I think Ryan's going to have to sign off on it. But I think Ryan's smart enough to know that he's going to sign off on any of these three guys.
Right. It's going to come. There's nothing, that Ryan Smith has said or done in the past to suggest otherwise, that he doesn't trust his front office.
Right.
He assembled this team. He assembled everybody in that front office, all the decision maker from the Angels to the Xanax, right? To have everybody that he trusts running this organization in there, and because he trusts them. And I think at the end of the day, Ryan Smith knows that they're going to make the right decision no matter what happens, and all the trust is on that front office. And obviously, he's going to have to sign on it, make sure that they bring in what he believes will be the right guy for the culture as well. But it's a massive decision, and I know that there's going to be pressure from people around Ryan Smith saying, "Hey, you need to take this guy," or "Hey, you need to go after Boozer."
Yeah, and it's tough. And he mentioned the Duke. He's texting him like he knows a lot of Duke people. Again, Carlos works for him, right? So that's got to be tough. Like.
I wonder what those conversations are like.
Well, imagine, they're on the board sitting there at number 2, and you got to pick between Darryn Peterson and Cam Boozer. And imagine, Ryan Smith's got to turn and look Carlos in the eyes and say, hey, Carlos.
We're not picking Boozer.
I heard that, I wasn't able to find this clip, but I heard that, part of the interview questions when Ryan Smith and some of the Jazz front office talked to Cam Boozer, they basically said, like, hey, your dad was only able to get us to the conference finals. What makes you think you can do better?
Wow.
So I think that's funny.
That is that is a great question.
Yeah.
That is a good question.
That way, you know what? It's a great story. And that's, I kind of mentioned this earlier, but that's the tough part about this pick is you've got 2 of these 3 prospects that you feel comfortable knowing that they would want to stay in Utah. And that's something I only bring that up because that is literally something that the Jazz always deal with. There was a player they tried to trade for a few years ago. There's a rumor, right? And I'm not going to say who the player was, but they were told by the player's agent, don't even bother trading for him because he's not going to sign an extension in Utah. They tried to get out of the rebuild a couple years ago, and that got shut down because the player didn't want to extend in Utah. So they ended up not trading for him. So if you've got a guy whose dad played for the team, really enjoyed his time here, and is involved with the team, you've got another player who went to prep school and college in Utah, and he's seemingly bought into the culture. It's hard not to take either of those 2 guys. But then you've also got Darryn Peterson, who a year ago today, he was talked about as the clear-cut number 1 pick in this draft, above A.J. Dybantsa. You ask almost anybody, and it wasn't even a question.
Yeah.
And so that's tough. And we'll get into, obviously, we've got, like Ryan Smith said, 40-something days until the draft, right? So we're going to have a lot of time to break down kind of the pros and cons of each one of these prospects. But there's green flags, there's red flags, pros and cons to everybody. It's a tough decision.
I think the whole conversation about whether or not a player is going to want to stay in Salt Lake City and stay with the Utah Jazz it's kind of silly.
You think so?
I do think so because you look at the teams across the top 4: the Bulls, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Jazz, and the Washington Wizards. You look at those 4 teams and tell me who has the best situation. Right, heading into next season.
Well, does situation matter to the players, or does the city and lifestyle?
I know that the agents are just chasing the money and the contracts, etc. But like as a player, I know nightlife and what you can do in the city and whatever is also a big deal.
That is important to a lot of people.
But I think ultimately, like right now, where the Jazz are, they're set up for more immediate success than the Bulls are. They're more set up for immediate success than the Memphis Grizzlies are. The Memphis Grizzlies are just entering the rebuild.
And the Wizards too.
The Wizards, yes.
I know they just traded for Trae Young and Anthony Davis, but those guys suck.
Exactly.
none of their prospects are as good as Ace Bailey, I don't think.
No, I don't.
Or Keontae George.
I don't know if the Trae Young and Anthony Davis trade is going to end up paying off for the Washington Wizards.
No.
Because
I'd be surprised if they're on the team.
AD's history.
Yes.
He can't stay healthy to save his life. He's older now too. And Trae Young's Trae Young. Eventually he's going to get tired of the situation and he's going to the same thing's going to happen that happened in Atlanta. I
would bet that 2 years from now, so by the 2028 draft, neither of those players are on the Wizards anymore. I would bet that. I would comfortably bet that.
Would not surprise me. So that's what I'm saying. Like, as a player, you look at the situations and you think about who's in a better situation, and I think long term the Jazz are set up for more success than the other 4 teams.
I totally agree.
That's why I think this whole does he want to stay in Salt Lake talk is a little bit silly.
I would hope that matters to a prospect of this level, right? You think of the best, what separates them, part of that is their mentality. And what
happened to the ring chasers, man?
Right. And they care. They care about hoop, they care about success, they care about winning, not just, what city they go to.
Right.
So we will see. I mean, again, we don't know Darryn Peterson that well simply because he was heavily scrutinized during his year at Kansas, right? We feel locally, we feel like we know Cam Boozer and AJ Dybantsa a lot better than we know Darryn Peterson. So
Jonathan Gavoni made some interesting comments earlier this week too, where he said that he doesn't know where the conversation changed, but Darryn Peterson should still be the number 1.
And I totally see that argument. That's why, again, I brought it up earlier.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if any of these 3 players went number 1. And I know that AJ is talked about as the favorite, but again, each of these 3 players is going to be special. I don't think you can go wrong.
I think bottom line for me and from my perspective and the way that I see it, bottom line is if AJ Dybantsa is available at number 2, boom, it's easy. You pick AJ Dybantsa. If he's not available at number 2, you take Darryn Peterson or Caleb Wilson.
Not Cam?
Not Cam.
Interesting.
You take Darryn Peterson or Caleb Wilson.
Okay.
You don't entertain the whole trade up for number 1 talk. You don't entertain, any of trying to move up or anything like that just for AJ Dybantsa, unless you truly believe that AJ Dybantsa is going to be the guy that puts you in, brings an NBA championship to the state of Utah.
Right.
And the price may be worth it to try to trade to Washington, but again, you don't want to mortgage your future. I think bottom line, if he's available at 2, you take him at 2, and then if he's not, you take Darryn Peterson or you take Caleb Wilson. You don't trade up.
No, I think we're in agreement there, man. Trading up does not make sense for this Jazz team at all.
And who knows? Maybe the Washington Wizards decides to throw a wrench into this whole situation and they take Cam Boozer number 1.
Right. And that's a very real possibility.
Washington holds the cards, man.
So weird, Washington. And the crazy part is, whoever they draft is going to bust.
Oh, man.
Because it's Washington.
Yeah, just because it's Washington.
Yeah. We'll see. Okay, we got to take a break. Coming up next, let's talk some NFL schedule release. I want to go over some highlight games, right? But I'm also disappointed. And we'll get into why. I'm pretty disappointed with the NFL schedule release. So we'll hit that next. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Gets past one. Johnson now into the box. Noah Johnson takes the shot. Saved by Hodgman and into the back of the net. Noah Johnson says, ole, ole, ole. Gets past 1, gets past 2, and puts it into the back of the net off of Arlo Hodgman. And the Mazer Prep Academy Lions lead by 2.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Kick off Memorial Day savings with up to an extra $1,000 off select top brand appliances like Frigidaire. Plus, get free delivery at the Home Depot. Stack your appliance lineup with a fridge with an extra large ice capacity and an oven with over 15 cooking modes. Then let the real MVP handle cleanup with a dishwasher's 50-minute wash cycle. Shop appliances at the Home Depot. Offer valid May 14th through June 3rd. U.S. only. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $998 or more. See store online for details.
If you walk into a room and can't remember why, it could be nothing or something more. If you confuse a familiar recipe, it could be a slip-up. Or it could be associated with amyloid plaque buildup in the brain. Amyloid is a protein that your body produces naturally, but a buildup in the brain could lead to memory and thinking issues. To see what may be behind your memory and thinking issues, talk to your doctor about getting a full assessment. It's never too early to start the conversation. Visit amyloid.com to learn more.
Ever notice how life's best stories don't happen in your living room? They happen on the open road, out on the water, or parked under the stars. At Progressive, they get that you want to focus on the experience, not worry about the what-ifs. That's why they offer quality insurance designed for your ride, whether that's a boat, RV, or motorcycle. Adventure with confidence. Visit Progressive.com and see how easy it is to protect your favorite way to get away. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in D.C. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner by knockout is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
Welcome into the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us, making us part of your Saturday morning. This is a good song. I like 311.
It is a good song. Good vibes for Saturday morning.
I like Sean's music. You know what? I'm not afraid to admit this. My mom listens almost every Saturday. And she has texted me several times that she likes the music that we come back with. And I'm like, oh, that's Sean.
There you go. Thanks, Sean.
Shout out Sean.
And Parker.
Yeah.
Okay,
so the NFL released their schedule over the week, and it was funny. There were some leaks earlier in the week, but then they had the big release. Was that Thursday, I guess? My biggest question was how many of these social media teams are going to go after Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini and make a big joke out of it? And Alex, I'm sitting here Saturday morning. I'm disappointed.
I think the league coming out and saying that they weren't going to punish anybody who came out and went after Mike Vrabel and Diana Rossini. I think that announcement came a little bit too late because I think by then everybody had already planned what they were going to do.
That's a great point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
they did. They came out and said that, but
they came out and said it. But I mean, it was like what, 2 days, 3 days before the schedule release, and so I think by then social media teams were like already had a plan what they were going to do, and they were probably like, hey, we probably shouldn't mention this because we don't want to get in trouble. And then the league was like, don't worry, you're not going to get in trouble. But by then it was probably too late.
The Chargers poked fun at it. Did you see their video? I actually didn't watch any full video.
I did. I saw a lot of criticism towards the Jets video, and everybody calling it the worst, where they like mixed color palettes and like, made the team's colors with some ASMR. And I honestly thought it was pretty fun because I watched cool. I watched the whole video trying to guess who was coming up, right? I tried to guess what colors they mixed would end up making certain teams, and for the most part I got them all wrong.
But people didn't like
them all wrong. But people didn't like it. But I thought it was honestly really clever, just because I had a lot of fun trying to guess who all the teams were.
I saw the Raiders one really made me laugh, and that pains me to say, but they did like a Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza did like a Step Brothers reference.
Yeah, yep.
One of my favorite movies of all time, so that was great.
The Titans went up to...
That one was really funny, too.
That one was really funny, where they went up to lookalikes.
Random people on Broadway. Yeah, my favorite one was the Myles Garrett. Did you see that?
Yes, the little kid wearing the Myles Garrett jersey.
like a little white dude with glasses in a Myles Garrett jersey.
Some little child walking around. Hilarious.
Not Myles Garrett.
The Jerry Jones one was pretty funny too. It went up to some older gentleman and had a very thick UK accent, and he was like, I'm from the UK. I don't even know who that is." Oh, that one was also pretty clever. And then, of course, you have the Jags where they pretend to shave off Trevor Lawrence's iconic locks, but it turns out it was all fake.
It was?
Yeah, he did not cut his hair. It was a bald cap. Put a bald
Really?
cap on, and then they put a wig on.
Aww.
Yeah.
Okay, well, September 9th is when the season opens. Seahawks, Patriots rematch. Thursday night football. Oh, no, that's a Wednesday.
Yeah, we got a Wednesday game to kick off the season.
How do you feel about Wednesday games?
I'm not a big fan.
I saw some controversy with it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Why? Why not?
I guess this early in the season, it probably isn't as big of a deal. But I think the Thursday night games, Thursday night football, right? That's a big deal. That's awesome. That's fun to watch. But it feels like, as someone who watches everything here locally, right, from the high school level up to the NFL, Wednesdays and Friday nights belong to the high schools. And I'm not a fan when the NFL tries to play Friday night games. I'm not a fan when college football does Friday night games because he cut into the high school football.
I guess that's a pretty valiant reason.
That's my reasoning.
I don't care. I'll watch it. If there's NFL on, I'll watch it. That's what
I'll have
it
it pulled
boils
up on my
down to
phone
me.
probably.
Couple exciting games. I'm really looking forward to the Broncos-Bills rematch on Christmas Day. I think that is a home run. That is going to be a great game.
Yeah. It's looking to get some revenge after what happened last year.
Oh, don't remind me. Bo Nix
I
breaking
know.
his ankle.
I know.
They won the game but lost the war, Alex.
I know. You know what? You know what's crazy? I was having this conversation with one of my friends the other day, and I said, look, if Bo Nix doesn't go out that game, I think the Broncos make it to a Super Bowl.
The Broncos would have won the Super Bowl.
Okay. I don't know about all that.
I saw a loser. The 49ers are apparently going to travel the most miles ever.
Yes. And it in part, it has to do with their trip to Melbourne, Australia.
Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mexico City.
And Mexico City, yep.
Holy smokes. 15,000 of those miles come from the Australia trip.
Yep. 49ers at Rams, week 1 in Melbourne, Australia. Really looking forward to that game.
38,105 total miles traveled for the 49ers this year.
Yeah, and I think the Panthers had the least.
How do you feel about the international games? Do you like those?
Yeah, but I don't know about the one in Australia. Because I feel like that one just completely messes with the clocks.
Yeah, what time is that even going to be?
Yeah, first of all, major time discrepancy, right? I think we get that game on a Sunday, but they'll end up playing Monday, if I'm not mistaken, because of the time difference.
It's currently 2:41 a.m. in Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's and then plus you have to, obviously you'll play next week, and I think the Rams get an extra 28 hours to rest, whereas the 49ers are right back at it, man. Because of the way the schedule works out.
Oh yeah, Sean, 49ers guy.
Yeah.
Are you bent about the 38,000 miles traveled?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just inevitable. Every team, there's always going to be one team that travels the most.
Oh, I thought, okay, that's the angle.
But
I thought you were going to say it's inevitable that it's the 49ers. They got to worry about that electrical substation.
Yeah, that's the most concerning thing for sure.
I do think it's awesome though. You get 49ers against the Rams for week 1, man. We'll see where the 49ers are after they made it to the playoffs last year. They had a good bounce back this past season. I had real questions about Kyle Shanahan and his future and whether or not he was going to continue if the 49ers didn't make the playoffs. They bounce back, have a good season. And then, of course, the Rams, who made it all the way to the NFC Championship game. So that'll be a good game to start off the season.
Thanksgiving's going to be fun with Chiefs-Bills on Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
Other Christmas games, the Bears-Packers, Rams-Seahawks, couple of really fun rivalry matchups on Christmas. And then I mentioned Broncos-Bills. New Year's Eve, Bengals-Ravens.
Bills at Rams, week 5, Monday Night Football.
A lot of fun. Dude, I feel like some of the for as much as people want to say that rivalries are dead in the NFL, I think they're starting to make a comeback. I really am starting to feel that.
Absolutely.
There was a lull a few years ago where it felt like teams didn't really care about who they were playing, but you look at the NFC West in particular.
I was about to say the
NFC North,
yes,
and the AFC North.
Yes.
Those three divisions have the best rivalries in football.
From the NFC West perspective, these past 2 years have made a really have really helped those rivalries come back, especially last season, right? When both the 49ers, all three of the 49ers, the Rams, and the Seahawks are having tremendous seasons, and then they're all battling out each other for the top of the NFC West, and then of course you have the 2-point conversion for the Seahawks.
Yes.
That really feels like it changed the trajectory of both the Rams and the Seahawks. So
that was a crazy game.
That was a wild game. Very fun game. Very disappointed that the Rams couldn't pull it off, but.
Well, we'd be happy to have listeners use the call-in feature. Let us know your favorite team and your the game that you're most excited to watch them play this season as part of the schedule release. You know, like I said, Broncos fan, I can't wait for that Bills rematch game on Christmas. I know the Broncos won last time, but I still feel like they screwed the Broncos over, taking Bo Nix away. So,
and then you have the Broncos-Chiefs Week 1 on Monday Night Football. Man.
You know what? I saw a lot of Broncos fans complaining about that. I don't want to turn this into a Broncos conversation because a lot of people here are anti-Broncos, but that's like the best time to play the Chiefs. You don't know if Patrick Mahomes, like, you have to play an Arrowhead every season.
Right.
Why not schedule that for Week 1?
Yeah.
You don't know if Patrick Mahomes is going to be playing. Even if he is, he's not going to be 100% coming off of his ACL tear. So I don't know why people were so upset about that.
Really, really, really surprised if he was ready for Game 1.
That's what I'm saying, too. I've talked to a few friends, and they're convinced that he's playing. But if not, it's Justin Fields or the Nuss Bus, right?
Yeah.
Garrett Nussmeier.
What about Bo Nix?
There's some conspiracy theories that his ankle is not coming along as good as it should. I guess he had it cleaned up a couple weeks ago. There were some pictures floating around where it looked like it's kind of bow-legged.
I saw that.
Then, like the next day, Bo Nix posted videos of him sprinting kind of to prove the haters wrong. So, I don't know, Super Bowl 2027 market, I guess.
That'll be fun, and then... it's the NFL. Anybody could beat anybody, and that's the beauty of what makes this league so fun. And then you have some Week 18 games that could decide divisions, like Lions at Packers Week 18, Steelers at Ravens Week 18, and I know that's a long way down the line, but those are games those are part of the rivalries that you look forward to. Plus, divisions could be on the line. So.
Yeah. And a couple teams this year, I'm really interested to see like how big of a step forward they take, like the Bears. You know, they seem to really catch some momentum with Ben Johnson there.
Do the Lions come back?
Do the Commanders come back, right, with Jaden Daniels? So I think this is going to be a really interesting season. Honestly, I think the NFL knocked it out of the park with this year's schedule. Like, there's not a lot that I look at. And, of course, like, again, it's the NFL. If it's on, I'm going to watch it. I don't care who's playing, right?
Absolutely.
But it doesn't feel like there's unnecessary fluff. I think there are a ton of storylines, at least right now, before all the injuries hit.
Yeah,
there's a ton of great storylines.
Well, that this whole conversation can change come week 2 or I guess week 5 or whatever.
Or 2.
You know, when teams that we thought were going to be really good aren't actually really good, and teams that you didn't think were really going to do much actually turn out to be pretty good.
Yeah, you'd like to think that the Commanders, the Lions, the Bengals, right, they're all going to come back to form.
Right.
Nobody's going to fall off.
No, you know what? I've been waiting for the Bengals for the last 3 years to figure it out. I don't know if they'll figure it out this year. I'm finally jumping off the Bengals train.
They're going to be good now.
I don't know, probably, but I don't know if they ever figure it out.
A disaster of an organization.
Right.
They're terrible.
Right.
They always screw something up.
I feel bad for Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow, man.
Do ya?
I do.
They get to be BFFs playing together.
I guess, yeah, they get to be BFFs, but they got to have some semblance of a defense, man. Come on. They made it to a Super Bowl, and then they've been down ever since.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up next, we will get to technical fouls, one of our favorite segments of the week. Little tease. There is a Pistons fan, Alex, who is going above and beyond, and he's the whole reason why the Pistons are still alive. You know, they were facing elimination, and due to the efforts of this one fan, The Pistons won yesterday, and they are still alive for Game 7. We'll get to that next. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Shop with confidence at the Home Depot and get Memorial Day deals on Ryobi, the #1 cordless outdoor power brand. Both the Ryobi 18-volt and 40-volt self-propelled mower kits are on special buy for just $449 each, was $479. Ryobi's battery platform delivers the power, runtime, and dependability you need to tackle your yard work with ease. Shop Memorial Day deals on Ryobi outdoor power, only at the Home Depot. Pricing valid 5/14 through 5/27, U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Ever notice how life's best stories don't happen in your living room? They happen on the open road, out on the water, or parked under the stars. At Progressive, they get that you want to focus on the experience, not worry about the what-ifs. That's why they offer quality insurance designed for your ride, whether that's a boat, RV, or motorcycle. Adventure with confidence. Visit Progressive.com and see how easy it is to protect your favorite way to get away. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in D.C. Prices vary based on how you buy.
If you're coming from the street with dirty shoes on your feet, that's a technical foul. If you switch the radio to some modern music show, that's a technical foul. If you touch the thermostat, you'll get hit with a bat. 'Cause that's a technical foul. You won't feel my wrath. That's a technical foul.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
A technical foul.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles. Thank you for making us part of your Saturday morning. Alex, we've got some crazy technical fouls to get to. I got to start off with this one. It is the craziest fan behavior I think I've ever seen, but it's working. It's working, and I don't want to give this guy like a ton of light, but it needs to be talked about because I've never seen a fan go to these extremes.
You'll have to walk me through this one because I'm not sure I know what you're.
I've set it up that way on purpose.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure which one, what this one's about.
4 times this NBA postseason.
Okay.
The Detroit Pistons have faced elimination.
Right.
4 times. I'm not even going to find this guy's name because I don't want to give him. I don't want to give him a ton of shine.
All right.
4 times this random Detroit Pistons fan has posted a video of himself getting waterboarded.
Oh!
To share the pain, to say this is how painful it is to be a Detroit Pistons fan. And you know what happens after every single time he posts one of those videos?
They win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last night was the 4th time. The Cavaliers were up 3-2. They had a chance to win the game, or they had a chance to win the series going into the game. Before the game, this fan posted a video of himself getting waterboarded, and the Pistons won.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now. I have seen it.
He's
pop
going
up
like pretty viral.
Yeah. I have seen it pop up on my social media feed. I didn't. I guess when it popped up, I didn't really pay attention to it, and I didn't realize he was a Detroit Piston fan. But that makes more sense now. I know what you're talking about now.
Detroit, I'm doing whatever I can for our beloved Pistons. Hashtag the waterboard too.
I mean, I guess credit to this guy.
Yeah, well, a bunch of other Pistons fans are saying, like, put this guy courtside, have him be the halftime show.
Do people want to do people want to watch him get waterboarded like in the middle of the court? Like, what are we doing here? Yeah, I don't think I'd ever want to be in a situation where I'm waterboarded. But so, I mean, kudos to him for enduring that to put out some good vibes for your team, man.
And again, he's done it 4 times and they win.
That's crazy.
So we'll see if he does it before Game 7.
I mean, if I were him, I would probably do it because you're 4 for 4 right now. You might as well.
You have to at this point. He did tweet yesterday that he's going to make a statement today. but he has not made said statement.
Okay. I'm curious to see what the statement is going to be.
Well, I'll keep you updated.
Let me know, yeah. Let me know, because this guy is either insane or just has a crazy love for the Detroit Pistons.
In his bio, it's Penn State booster.
Uh-huh.
# the waterboard.
Way to own it, man. Way to own it.
I've got another technical foul for you, Alex.
Let's do it.
This is a story that's known, right? It's not breaking news, but Darren Waller was a member of the Miami Dolphins last season. He came out of retirement to play for the Dolphins. He had a couple big games where he had multiple touchdowns. And after every season, the coach meets with every single player one-on-one just to talk about expectations and yada, yada, yada. So Darren Waller shared that he had his exit interview with former head coach, emphasis on former head coach, Mike McDaniel, talking about the offseason plans and whatever. And that exit interview got interrupted by the owner. And I will let Mr. Darren Waller explain what the owner had to say.
I've heard some stories, some portions of the story of you being in Mike McDaniel's office as everything went awry for the Dolphins. Tell me what happened here that you were a witness to.
Yeah, so the week after the season ends, like people that don't make the playoffs, you have exit meetings with your coaches. I get up there at 9:30 and they're talking to Mike. Everything's cool. Like, we're talking about the season, like how much of a roller coaster it was for me, but how excited he was to be able to like have a relationship with each other and coach me and put me in positions to be successful. And I'm talking about next year and changes he was going to make and stuff like that. And so then the meeting's at 9:30. It's about like 9:42, and Stephen Ross just like kicks the door in, like not even like knocks, like, hey, like what's going on? Just like flings the door open. And then he joins the conversation for a couple minutes and is like, yeah, it's great to have you here. Like, you don't even need to go anywhere in free agency. Like, this would be great. We want you here. And then the conversation kind of hit like a lull, and he's just like looking at me like, and I'm like, oh, that's that get out of here look. And I looked at Mike, and Mike was like, yeah, we can finish this later, because they were looking for a new GM. They were trying to do a whole bunch of stuff in like a quick period of time. So I thought it was probably about that. And I leave the room, go downstairs and get my massage, wake up an hour later, my phone says Mike McDaniel has been fired. So I'm just like, yeah, it just keeps getting more cutthroat as time goes along.
Keeps getting more cutthroat as time goes along.
No way. That's crazy, dude.
That's like, the people that, I don't want to get too dark, but it's like narrowly avoided disaster. They were somewhere, and then it's like, oh man, I was there.
Right,
and that
right.
happened.
Yeah.
I was just there.
Yep. He was in the office, and then he got kicked out so they could can McDaniel. He was at the scene of the crime, man.
Scene of the crime.
Yeah. That's wild. I love stories like that. Mostly just because you get the insight, right? They pull back the curtain, you get the insight, and you get the behind-the-scenes look of how certain things went down, of how certain situations went down. And so I love those type of stories. This one, a little bit unfortunate because someone lost their job.
Well, he's got a new one.
And
so
he's got
fine.
a new gig at the Chargers, which I think he'll be,
Yeah, they're going to do awesome.
I think he'll be awesome there.
If Man's going to win a playoff game.
I wonder how him and Harbaugh are getting along. Because
I would like to hear a conversation between those two.
They're from what it seems like, they're two very different personalities.
But they're both really, really, really weird.
Yes.
And I think their weirdness might overlap, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think they might have a little bit of the same weirdness. But I'm with you. It's funny hearing Darren Waller, and you how many times do you hear the story? Who was it? Darren Williams, found out he was traded because he was on the treadmill at the gym, and he looked up and saw on the ticker on ESPN.
Yep.
Darren Waller, he's on the team, and he finds out like the rest of us. He gets the notification from ESPN that the Dolphins coach was fired, and he's there in the building
having his exit interview.
And so I think that's always, I don't know, it's weird and cutthroat.
Also weird to barge in the middle of an exit interview.
Yeah.
And
we have to do this now.
Decide to make that decision right then and there. And I guess from a roster building perspective, and from possibly that, because Darren Walsh said it, right? There's conversations of we want to have you back next year, we want you to be a part of the team, etc. And obviously that's not Mike McDaniel's decision to make anymore. So I understand why you do it in that moment, but also to do it in front of the player, that's kind of weird. and to barge in front of the player.
Yeah, like you couldn't have made sure that Mike's schedule was clear.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Ross.
Like, we have to do this right now.
Yeah, you couldn't have said, "Hey, Mike, are you free at 9:45?"
Yeah, that doesn't.
I'm gonna make sure you're free.
But again, if you know that leads to these type of conversations, these type of stories. Like, we would have known that if Darren Waller had not been in that office at that moment. So, love it.
You've got a technical foul to wrap up.
I do. Let's head over to the PGA Championship. Let's talk about Garrick Higo. Obviously, he makes headlines about him not making it on time to his tee time. And I think the technical foul isn't necessarily assessed to him being late. It's more so to how he's been handling the situation after being late to his tee time.
I always cut it pretty fine. There's a lot of us who do. You know, we don't want to get to the tee box 10 minutes early and be cold. You know, we have to hit it far and straight. It's our job to do that. I don't really think it's my job to be 10 minutes early. Obviously cut it too fine. I thought I still had a few minutes. I didn't have my watch or my phone on me, and my caddy was dropping off my TrackMan. So went to the putting green, hit one putt, and then heard my name and ran down. I mean, I think that's always been a big strength of mine is, you know, fighting. I always stay in the fight. Might not always be pretty, but I felt like my swing and putting's been in a good spot this week. I haven't had the best year so far. So I just try to make good swings, you know, stay in control of what I can control. Like, there's nothing I can do about being late. I'm already late.
Again, the technical foul isn't on him being late because I think, you know, and this might be the Gen Z and me talking, like, if you're a second late to something, I don't see that as a, like...
Oh, stop it. It's not
you're
only is it golf.
1 second late.
Alex Napoles, this is the PGA Championship.
I know.
Give him 2 technical
fouls.
fouls.
But if I'm going out to dinner, right? If I'm going out to dinner and I'm 1 second late to meet with somebody, like, it's 1 second.
That's not the PGA Championship. Imagine if it's the freaking Super Bowl and the Patriots show up late to the game. And
1
Mike
second
Vrabel's,
late.
I don't care how late. If they're late, it's late. It's one of the biggest golf tournaments of the entire year. And you've got this dude, he's a year older than me. He's up there, Gen Z, talking about,
hold up.
I was 1 second late.
Time out. I think we're blowing 1 second out of proportion. It's a second.
You know what? For golf, you're supposed to be early anyways, so it's more than 1 second.
The thing that I have a gripe with on this whole Garrick Higo situation is the fact that he comes out and he says, it's not my job to be on time.
Quite literally is, man.
Yeah, exactly. It's your job to be on time. That's where I have issues with it.
So the craziest part about this, so he was assessed a 2-stroke penalty for being late. He missed the cut by 1 stroke.
I know. Oh, he did? Oh!
By 1 stroke.
Oh!
So that's why you are early. What do they say? On time is late?
Yeah, on time is late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I think we should listen to the boomers sometimes when they're talking about this.
If I'm going out
for the PGA Championship, this is not dinner with your buddies.
Right.
I've got friends who are late all the time, and I get so annoyed with them because they're always late. It's not the PGA Championship. If you shouldn't even be there next year for being late.
For important things, like, I mean, we go live at 10 every day.
Right.
I'm on the show with Scotty and the coach and Lloyd, and we go live every day at 10.
Yes.
And I mean, from the producer perspective, like, we have to be in early to help with the show prep and stuff and whatnot. So I mean, to my job and to, like, important things, like, I'm not going to be late. But if I'm showing up to dinner, like, I can, you know, I can be a second late.
If you were playing in the PGA Championship and you had a 9:57 tee time, what time would you get there?
Okay, that's different, though, because that would be important to me.
And you would think that it's important to Garrick Higo.
Right.
But it's not.
Right. And again, it's the way that he's handling the whole situation of him coming out
Why
and
are
being
you acting
like,
so entitled to this?
It's not my job to be on time.
It is your job to be on time.
Okay, Garrick.
That doesn't even make sense. What do you mean it's not your job to be on time?
Why
are you there?
I wonder how he feels now that he missed the cut by, how much was it? A stroke?
1 stroke.
I wonder how he feels now that he missed the cut by 1 after being assessed the penalty to begin with.
What a freaking idiot.
Wild.
Pulling up the PGA Championship leaderboard real quick. I believe Maverick is still in the lead. Maverick McNeely does lead today. He is 4 under, tied with Alex Smalley. They are both 4 under. And then Aldrich Potgieter, everybody's favorite South African that they just heard of yesterday. He's in 3rd place. He's 3 under.
There you go.
There you go. We'll have another update real quick with live scores just because that's going on this morning. We'll do another update before the show is over, see if there's any more change atop the leaderboard of the PGA Championship. Of course, if you were listening before 10 a.m., you heard Brian and Bob with Real Golf Radio giving you the best PGA Championship coverage. And shout out to them for joining the station all week, too.
Absolutely.
That's a really great resource.
Absolutely. If you want to know what's going on, you want to know about golf, you got to tune into those guys.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up on the other side, let's talk NBA playoffs. We talked Pistons a little bit this segment, but they are going to Game 7 with the Cavs. The Timberwolves were eliminated last night, and there was some controversy in that game, so we're going to hit that next. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles. Thanks for joining us on a beautiful Saturday morning. Alex, the NBA Conference Finals are almost set. We know 3 of the 4 teams that we will be playing. The Spurs win last night, 139-109. They blow out the Timberwolves. They move on. They win Game 6.
Yeah, I was watching about halfway through the third quarter, and then...
You made it that far?
I did make it that far. And then it seemed pretty set in stone that the Spurs were going to move on.
I think it was set in stone a little earlier.
It was pretty bad. It got rough, man. It got rough. And then there was some point during the third quarter when like literally nothing was going for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Spurs just kept inflating that lead and inflating that lead and inflating that lead. And then I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to watch TV.
What'd you watch instead? I'm joking.
I found this fun show on Netflix.
There you go.
Yeah.
More fun than a blowout.
Yeah.
But the Pistons, they tie it up. Force a Game 7. Shout out again to our waterboarding guy. The Pistons win last night, 115-94. It was looking like, going into the game, Donovan Mitchell would potentially get to his first conference finals ever, but he's going to need one more win to do it. Super disappointing performance again from James Harden. He had another game with more turnovers than assists. He actually had more turnovers than made field goals. He had 8 turnovers. He had 6 made field goals, 4 assists. Again, 8 turnovers. Did you see the clip of him? He flopped, shocker, and he was like really sweaty, and there wasn't a chance for the crew to come in and wipe up the wet spot. And then the next possession, a Cavaliers player slipped, and it led to a transition layup.
No,
for the
I
Pistons.
did not.
Did you see that?
I did not see that. But I have been very disappointed with James Harden and his performance. And I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week, and we talked a little bit about it last week. And in Game 6, he has 8 turnovers to just 6 field goals, and I think that kind of encapsulates why the Cleveland Cavaliers are back in a situation where they have to battle out in Game 7 to try to make it into the next round.
I just don't understand how they felt like that was the best they could do at the trade deadline.
Right.
Darius Garland for James Harden. I get why they wanted to move off of Darius Garland, but James Harden is essentially the same player. And I guess he's probably a better three-point shooter, but you wouldn't be able to tell in this series. I mean, 3 of 8 last night. Like he's not coming in and doing what Cleveland made the trade for.
Yeah.
And Donovan Mitchell, only 18 points for him, 6 of 20 shooting. Again, another just chucking night, that we've seen so many times here in Utah where he feels like he's feeling the pressure, his back up is against the wall. He feels like he's not getting help from his teammates. I know Game 5, he went nuclear. He had like 31 points in the third quarter. And he feels like he can just chuck, and he chucks and chucks and chucks. And last night, 6 of 20, you're going to have nights like that from Donovan Mitchell. And so you've got to have another scoring option with him. And when James Harden is off, which has been almost every game this playoffs, he really has not made an impact at all. You're really betting on a Donovan Mitchell performance, which doesn't happen all that often.
Yeah, and I mean, for Jazz fans, it's a little bit of a familiar sight, right? When the desperation begins to crawl in, and he's just chucking things up to chuck things up, and to try to play hero ball, and to try to be the guy to put his team over the hill and over the hump, and try to move on to the next round. But as you see, as you go back to some of the playoff series that you saw here with the Utah Jazz, and now that you're just seeing now with this playoff series with the Cavaliers, he needs help.
You think that's what it is?
With the Cavs, yes.
You think they're going to trade him?
Oh, man, that's a good question.
Jake and Ben were floating around a fun scenario yesterday. Obviously, it's hard because Cleveland is up against the second apron, and that makes trades extremely difficult. But imagine a scenario in which the Cavaliers worked out some sort of Donovan for Giannis swap. They'd probably need to get some other teams involved, but, just looking at it from the perspective of Donovan goes to Milwaukee, Giannis goes to the Cavaliers.
I could see it as a way as the Cavs trying to extend this window that they have right now before they truly go rebuild.
That's what's funny, though, is, Donovan Mitchell is your window. So if you trade him away, I think the Cavs should just do what the Jazz did and tear it down. And obviously, that would be great for the Jazz because the Jazz own their pick.
Yeah, if they don't win, if they don't win tomorrow's, it's tomorrow, right? Yeah, tomorrow's game. If they don't win Game 7, then I think the front office of the Cavaliers has to seriously consider tearing it down.
I think they will. I think they will consider it because the Cavaliers in 4 years are learning what it took 4 or 5 years for the Jazz to learn. And it's if you have Donovan Mitchell on your ceiling, his highs are really high, but he's not always playing at his best. And you need to have a dang near perfect roster built around him. Mm-hmm. And this Cavaliers roster is extremely flawed. They don't have any adults in the room. And Donovan Mitchell's not going to be the adult in the room when it comes to the playoffs. And damn well James Harden's not an adult in the room, right? So it's not even close to working out. I don't see how, again, with the salary limitations that the second apron brings, I don't see how Cleveland makes this better without some sort of desperation move, and it would really take a handout from somebody else. Again, if you mentioned or I brought up a potential Giannis deal, why would Milwaukee want to help out Cleveland anyways? That's literally it's a handout.
Unless they're that desperate to move on from Giannis.
Right. And I don't know if they are. So we'll see. But this Cavaliers situation, honestly, to bring a point to the Jazz, it's going about as well as the Jazz could have hoped. I know there was some initial question on whether he would sign a first extension there in the first place, and he did, Donovan Mitchell. But with the Jazz still controlling at least one more pick from Cleveland, I believe it is the 2028 pick. I mean, if Cleveland decides to rebuild, man, then you're looking really, really smart for making that deal.
Oh, yeah.
Because you bet 4 years ago that Donovan Mitchell would not stay in Cleveland that long.
Dude, that was quite the gamble.
And we'll see. And maybe there's a chance that this is salvaged. And again, maybe Donovan wins tomorrow and they move on to the conference finals, and that's enough hope for Cleveland.
But even if they move on, do they get past the Knicks?
I don't think it matters. As far as for this conversation, as far as for keeping Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland, I do think if they move on to the conference finals, I think that alleviates.
Is that enough to justify running it back one more and
for
trying to run it back one more season?
In their eyes, I think it would be.
Yeah.
I don't agree, but
yeah.
So it's funny that is the narrative with this game, with this series. Honestly, it's Donovan Mitchell trying to salvage his career and not salvage his career, but relationship with Cleveland.
His time in Cleveland, yeah, absolutely.
And that's gonna be a big domino that falls this offseason. If not, that's gonna be a huge domino. So we will see. Game 7 tomorrow.
Good for the Knicks, man. They got hot at the perfect time. There was times during the regular season where I had questions whether or not this Knicks team would actually be able to do something, and then they turn it up.
I don't agree with that at all.
You don't think they turned up the heat a little bit in the playoffs?
I think that they played probably two of the worst teams in the entire Eastern bracket, and the Eastern bracket sucks. I don't think the Hawks or the 76ers would be in the playoffs if they were in the West.
So how differently would that conversation go if the Celtics actually made it
Honestly,
past?
I think Celtics would have won at least 6 games against the Knicks, like we saw last year. That was a really good series, and that's when Jason Tatum tore his Achilles. But that was a great series up until then. And I know that this Celtics team is different than last year's. But I definitely think that Boston would have pushed New York at least a little bit. They didn't get any pushback from the 76ers. They rolled over and died.
Clean sweep. Clean sweep. The 76ers.
I'm still not in on New York at all.
Really?
No.
I'm coming around to them a little bit.
They can score in bunches.
I liked what I saw from Jalen Brunson.
I am interested if they run into Detroit because Detroit's whole thing is defense, right?
Yes.
So, and New York is just offense. So we'll see who wins. We'll see which, playing style wins there. I think that's going to be really fun.
I think it'll be a fantastic matchup. But I think ultimately the Pistons are still young.
Yeah.
Whereas the Knicks have a lot of veterans on that team, and you think experience and being in this situation before would hopefully pay off for the Knicks. I do think the Knicks move on in the Eastern Conference. Whether it be the Cavs, whether it be the Pistons.
Back to the Timberwolves game, I wanted to get this sound clip. Last night, again, I brought up there was some controversy. 8 minutes left in the game. The Spurs were up 128-95. Timberwolves coach waves the white flag. Chris Finch pulls all of the starters, throws in the reserves. 128-95, 8 minutes left. Anthony Edwards goes to the Spurs huddle, and he starts dapping up all the Spurs players and coaches, basically congratulating them for moving on. And the Amazon Prime post-game panel, it was Blake Griffin, Dirk Nowitzki, and Udonis Haslem.
Yeah.
And Steve Nash. They had some thoughts, all former players, and I think they gave some pretty interesting insight on this incident with Anthony Edwards.
Here is the moment where he said he was just giving them the respect they deserve. 8 minutes were left in the game. Your reactions to this moment?
I've watched the NBA and been a part of it for a long, long time. I've never seen this. A guy walking into the huddle with 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and dapping up the entire team. Too much for me. Obviously, you can do that after the game and show plenty of respect. That was a little strange for me.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I've never seen that before. I mean, I do like what he said, that he wants to give him respect, but I think you wait and you have to take your licks at the end of the game like everybody else. I do want to say, I mean, he was definitely hobbled. Minnesota definitely hobbled. With Dybantsa out, Io didn't look like he was full strength either, and they played hard. It was a valiant effort, but it was. I mean, he was right. San Antonio was just a better team.
Yeah. Now, you had a reaction there to what he said at the end about needing to build a team that has championship habits, playoff habits. I didn't get to hear the question he was asked, but what were you thinking when you heard that?
Well, you would think that they would have that by now. You would think that they would have that. They've been to the Western Conference Finals. You would think over the years that they've built that. I understand. I think this is Julius Randle's second year, but you would think that a team that has been there, they would have those habits. So the fact that they don't have those habits are very disappointing to me. Because once you get here, and I say this all the time, the playoffs has a way of revealing what's inside you. And I didn't like what I saw from some of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ant was definitely hobbled. DiVincenzo was out. But some of the things I saw I didn't like. And what I will say is great as Ant is as a basketball player, there's still some growth for him as well. Because as a leader, I would not have walked down there and shook their hand. I would not have walked down there and shook their hand with 8 minutes left in the game. As a leader of my troops and my guys, I would not show that weakness. The game is not over. I got 8 minutes left. I still got smoke coming out of my ears because I'm so damn mad we losing. Let me calm down for those 8 minutes since I'm not in, and then after those 8 minutes, I'll go down there and I'll congratulate them and their coaching staff. But in the middle of the game, when I got guys that have sat the bench and cheered me on, no, I'm going to sit there and cheer those guys on. I'm going to put that energy back into those guys, and then when the game's over, I'll go over there and shake their hands. So that's just the way I handle things. I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit old school. I understand there's a different generation, but I don't think if they were beating San Antonio, Wemby would have went down there and shook his hand with 8 minutes left. I don't think so. I damn sure know Wemby when he went down there and shook his hand.
I don't even know if that's old school.
So for me, I love Ant-Man as a basketball player. I love where he's going to be as a basketball player, but as a leader, the next few steps he needs to make are little small details and things like that, because other people on your team and those guys are always watching you and they're following you whether you know it or not.
Thoughts?
Oh, Haslam's 100% right. As a, you know, this is a guy that has conversations about him about being a potential face of the league, right? About Anthony Edwards being the guy. And, you know, for all those guys, for all those legends to come out on that desk and say, look, this is something we've never seen in the NBA before. And for him to be a leader on this team, on that Timberwolves team, for him to be a leader on amongst, you know, the NBA and being one of the potential faces of this league, I couldn't agree more with Haslam. You don't go down there and you shake their hands with 8 minutes left. You go out there and you cheer on your guys that are coming off the bench.
Yeah.
I do. On the other hand, I do think, like, absolutely, the respect has been earned by the Spurs, right? The respect is there. And I think one of them mentioned it, right, about his comment about, you know, wanting to show that respect to the San Antonio Spurs for being as good as they were in this series and for going toe-to-toe in this series or whatever. But I think more so with Haslam's point, like, as a leader, you shouldn't have walked down there with 8 minutes left.
That's the part that I agree with. I'm wondering where all these questions on Anthony Edwards' leadership is coming from, and I guess that's part of it is shaking hands with 8 minutes left, whatever. The Timberwolves are lucky that Anthony Edwards was playing to begin with. I shouldn't say lucky. I should say blessed that Anthony Edwards gives a crap to try and play.
Yeah.
If it was any other player in the NBA, would they have been out there? I don't think so. I mean, this was a dude that was not even supposed to play this series.
Yeah.
And he was there game one, and his team won, by the way. And he didn't even play a big part, but that's real leadership. Like, again, this was just over a week ago, 2 weeks ago. That's leadership. And now all of a sudden there's questions about his leadership because at the end of the day, this Timberwolves team was ravaged by injuries. And I know that's part of the game. I'm not making an excuse for them, but like, yeah, it's pretty tough to beat the San Antonio Spurs when your best player can barely walk. Your second best scorer blew his Achilles.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle no-showed. What'd they score? I think they were a combined 6 points. No, 3 points from Randle, 0 points from Rudy last night. 3 total points. That's $67 million of your roster combining for 3 points. But it's Anthony Edwards that gets the leadership questions because he's recognizing what we're all recognizing. This Timberwolves team was just too thin. Because of all the injuries, because it's, again, similar to Cleveland. Like, it's a flawed roster. Julius Randle's not going to give you anything. Rudy Gobert can't give you anything offensively. Dosunmu was playing hurt. I don't know, man. That kind of bugs me that his leadership is called into question because of this. I think you talk about the NBA and everybody's buddy-buddy. I think it's more of that instead of being a poor leader.
Yeah. Well, I think also some of it comes from some of his post-game press conference comments as well, where the media, he sits in front of the media and they ask him what is holding this team back. Why, you know, what's the difference between you making it, being eliminated now and you guys making it on to the next round? And he basically sits there, laughs, and says no comment.
Well, what do you want him to say? Because if he says something, then he gets barbecued too, right?
I guess
he gets called a poor leader.
I guess he can't go wrong, or I guess he can't say
right. There's no right answer in that scenario.
In that moment.
I think it's just crazy that 2 weeks ago we're here on the Saturday show talking, like, commending Anthony Edwards for his heroic, bravery to play and all this, and then 2 weeks later it's he's a terrible leader all of a sudden. That's crazy to me. Crazy to me. And you know what? Frankly, Udonis Haslam, I don't know.
I mean,
talking about himself as a leader. When were you ever a leader?
He didn't have the greatest.
He was carried by Dwayne Wade for 20 years. Right. Look, I'll take what Dirk has to say. I get it. Never seen that. Sure. Blake Griffin to an extent, but what did he ever accomplish?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That really rubs me the wrong way, and that's honestly, I think it paints the NBA's biggest problem is. It hates its biggest stars. Like the media, and when I say it, I mean the media, and specifically these former players. Like, think of all the terrible things that Shaq has done for Donovan and Rudy and some of these other players, right? Just because he doesn't like them or feels threatened by them or whatever. There's a problem with these former NBA players feeling threatened by this younger generation. Anthony Edwards has already had a much greater career than Blake Griffin has ever had.
I would agree.
Right?
I would agree.
So of course he's not going to want to sit there and talk about Anthony Edwards as the face of the league or whatever. I actually happen to like Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Dirk can talk. I respect him. I respect his career. Steve Nash, he can talk.
Yeah.
Udonis Haslem, I don't know, man. That's where I'm at with this. I just think that's a really interesting situation. Again, if it's a fully, and I get that it's playoffs and injuries happen and that's sports, but we're not having this conversation. This series does not unfold this way if Anthony Edwards is 100%. Even if DiVincenzo never tore his Achilles. I'm just taking a fully 100% Anthony Edwards.
If that whole roster is fully healthy, right, heading into this playoff game, do they take down the San Antonio Spurs?
I don't even know if they take them down, but they don't. Look, 3 of their losses were blowouts. 3 of these 4 losses. Only 1 loss was within 10 points, right? So I don't know if I say the Timberwolves win the series, but it's, again, it's not this bad of a blowout.
So where do the Timberwolves go from here?
And that's where it gets interesting. I know we're way over, but I like this conversation because, again, it is relevant to the Jazz because of the Rudy Gobert ties.
Absolutely.
There was a report from The Athletic this morning that internally the Timberwolves feel like Julius Randle's poor performance this playoffs is because he was butthurt that he was included in trade talks for Giannis at the trade deadline.
I understand. Going back to the Cat trade, right, to the Knicks, I understand why you make that because, the second apron is killer. The CBA is killer.
Yeah.
You have to make moves to make sure that you're not in the second apron and potentially, overpaying, your roster, potentially losing draft picks down because of the way the CBA is set up and the way the second apron is set up. I understand why you have to make that move. I understand why you avoid that situation and why you make the trade for Karl-Anthony Towns and Julius Randle. But I think that move ultimately hurts the Timberwolves a lot more, and they're in a much tougher situation now as far as trying to get over the hump than they would be with Karl-Anthony Towns.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I felt like that, and I know they went to the conference finals with Julius Randle and with Cat, but I feel like the Cat version of this team was much better than Julius Randle.
100%.
Just because even, Cat's not a perfect player. He has his flaws, but Julius Randle's flaws are way, glaring. He's 3 points in an elimination game.
One of the most inconsistent dudes I've ever seen.
I totally agree.
He'll have his moments, right? He'll come out and he'll give you a pretty good, for every good game that he has, he'll have 5 to 10 bad games. Or games
Maybe
where
not
he
that drastic,
doesn't.
But yes.
It feels like that,
3
though.
to 5,
it feels
yeah.
like it
feels
certainly
like that.
feels like
Yeah.
that. And it rears its head more in a playoff series.
Yeah.
When your guys don't show up, when a
Right.
Julius Randle doesn't show up, and I think you saw that a lot in this series.
So we'll keep an eye on the Timberwolves this offseason, another team that has been tied into Giannis trade talks in the past. We'll see if that continues. So funny that Rudy and Donovan both tied to Giannis this offseason. We will see. We got to take a break. Coming up next, 5 minutes of. It's going to be real short.
Yes.
Real short. Stick with us. This is the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
You know what you can trust? The protection you get when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. You know what you can't trust? Everything else, apparently. Like when you saw that article that said that thing you eat every day is a superfood and great for your gut health. But then 30 seconds later, a different article warns you to avoid it and it's taking years off your life. Well, which is it? Kind of a big difference there. Anyway, bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive for reliable coverage in a reliably unreliable world. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Your summer starts now with Memorial Day deals at the Home Depot. It's time to fire up summer cookouts with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill on special buy for only $199. And entertain all season with the Hampton Bay West Grove 7-piece outdoor dining set for only $499. This Memorial Day, get low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. While supplies last, price and valid May 14th through May 27th. U.S. only, exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Support for this podcast comes from Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. We've all made mistakes on the water, but there's one mistake you shouldn't make: being uninsured. With Progressive Boat Insurance, you can choose coverage for most mistakes you or other boaters could make, helping you float carefree all season long. Quote today: Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on 2024 filings with state departments of insurance.
The question isn't whether the world is changing. It's whether you'll be ready for it. At Arizona State University, your education is built around the careers of the future. You learn from renowned faculty and researchers who are driving their fields forward, not just teaching about it. It's why we're ranked #1 in innovation and #2 in employability among U.S. public universities. Future-proof your career. Explore more than 350 programs at asuonline.asu.edu. That's a degree better.
It's the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles, taking you through the week in sports. It's time for 5 minutes of. Went pretty long last segment. Really had a good conversation, though, on the Cavaliers and Timberwolves and how that ties to the Jazz and what the futures look like for those two teams. We'll have that podcast that I'd really recommend you listen to it. Good stuff there. Alex, we only have a couple minutes here, but let's talk Stanley Cup playoffs. We haven't talked a lot about it since the Mammoth were eliminated, but the conference finals are set for the West. Yes. The Avalanche have moved on to nobody's surprise. Actually, I'm surprised that the series with the Wild was as lopsided as it was. Colorado still won 4-1.
Yes.
They are the Oklahoma City Thunder of the NHL. They swept the Kings in the first round and then 4-1 against the second best team in the West, the Wild. So that was a pretty surprising series.
It was fun to watch, I think, from the perspective of like these are two really good teams going head to head.
Yeah.
In Minnesota and Colorado, but I was disappointed that it ultimately went 4-1. I was disappointed that, especially after that 9-6 game to kick off the series, man.
Barn burner.
I definitely thought that this had potential to go a little bit further. I wouldn't say the distance. I wouldn't say Game 7, but I did think that a
couple wins for Minnesota.
Minnesota would be able to
they
figure
were
something out.
Everybody hyped them up, and I get the Quinn Hughes trade was a big deal, and he's played out of his mind since joining the Wild, and they had an incredible regular season, and it really set the stage for this in the playoffs. But I totally agree with you. A little underwhelming there.
Yeah, I do. And then I got my hopes up a little bit, right? Minnesota's up 3-0 after the first period in that final game, in Game 5 to close out. And then here comes the Avalanche, man. Just come roaring back. Put one in the second period, put two in the third to force overtime, and then they get the overtime winner to close out the series. That was super fun to watch. I think there's a lot of moments in this series that were fun in that sense, but it was ultimately disappointing that the Minnesota Wild couldn't win just even one more game.
And they will be playing the Vegas Golden Knights.
Oh!
Does that bum you out or make you feel better that the Knights advanced past Anaheim? I would feel worse if Anaheim advanced because I feel like Utah could beat Anaheim, right?
Yes.
So if Anaheim would have advanced, I'd be like, oh, that should have been the Mammoth.
Yes. I think Tortorella has done wonders for this team and
done wonders.
Yeah, and
Did you see they got fined and lost the pick yesterday?
You know what?
That's why I laughed.
I totally forgot about that. Yes, I did see that.
They got docked a second-round pick
because they were trying to make it to their flight, man.
That's funny.
They were trying to hurry up and get to their flight. They lost a pick because they didn't have enough post-media availability. Tortorella didn't speak. I think one player spoke, and then that was pretty much it. Yeah,
second-round pick.
I forgot that. That's
steep.
Quite a penalty for missing out on a post-game press conference.
So do you think that Avs and Golden Knights will be closer than Avs and Wild? I wouldn't think so.
I wouldn't think so. For as much credit, as much fun as the Golden Knights, I guess, have had this playoffs, I think the Wilds are the better team than the Golden Knights. And, I mean, we saw what happened with the Wild. Wouldn't surprise me if this is another 4-1 series for Colorado.
I don't know, man. I think that the Golden Knights might. I don't know if I feel comfortable picking them to upset the Avalanche, obviously, but
no, I'm
this
still
is a
going.
sneaky good team. I think this is a really good team that has figured their stuff out for the playoffs.
I'm still
Speaking
going
of Vegas,
Avalanche.
I think it's gonna be a closer series. I think they're gonna win at least 2 games.
Mitch Marner's been.
Dude, did you see that goal?
Yeah, that goal was awesome.
All timer.
Mitch Marner has stepped up.
And he started out cold against Utah.
Yeah,
and then he found his groove later in the series.
Took him until that last game against Utah to finally score.
Yeah.
Had a couple
You're
assists
welcome.
here and there. Yeah, had a couple assists here and there. So I mean, he wasn't completely pedestrian. Like it wasn't like he wasn't contributing. Like he was still putting up assists. He was still doing some really good things.
Yeah.
But he's finally after that first game or that last game against Utah, he's finally found a scoring touch, and he's been fun to watch since.
Over the East, not a ton of drama. Carolina.
Yeah,
really impressive. They sweep the first and second round. They swept the Senators, and then they swept the Ottawa Senators, and then Philadelphia after that. So Carolina has not lost a game yet in this playoffs.
Nope.
They are going to be meeting the winner of the Sabres and Canadiens. That game 6 is today. Montreal leads that series 3-2. So we'll see if Montreal, if they win today in advance, or if Josh Doan, our guy, can help keep Buffalo afloat. Still weird to me that they were the 1 seed in the East. That I know that they turned things around, but they have not felt that good to me. But they got past Boston in the first round. Carolina's really good though.
Carolina is really good. They seem to be the team that is going to
win the East.
But don't count out the Canadiens. I was very, surprised to see them take down the Lightning in the first round, and now they're putting up a really good fight against the Sabres. If the Canadiens can move on, I expect that to be a really fun series. Honestly, whoever moves on between the Sabres and the Canadiens, both of those teams, I'm curious to see after game 1 if they can be competitive enough with Carolina.
Yeah,
because Carolina has looked unbeatable.
Somebody's got to push them, right?
Right.
But I don't think if Carolina advances to the championship, the Stanley Cup Finals, I don't think they're going to walk away with it easy there.
No.
Even if it is Vegas and not Colorado. I don't know. Maybe the East is just weak, but the whole regular season, everybody was talking about the East being better than the West. So it's really weird to see one team just run through everybody. I don't know exactly what is going on with that.
Yeah.
I think from what it sounds like, though, it sounds like a lot of people are kind of surprised that Carolina is playing this well in the playoffs.
Absolutely. And again, credit to them. This reminds me of the comment that Nate Schmidt said of no one's going to win no one's going to win the Stanley Cup by going 16-0. No one's going to be perfect in the playoffs. But so
you're gonna
far,
get pushed a little bit.
So far Carolina has done that. They have been pushed, but they've been able to close out games. They've been able to go through with a clean sweep on both series. I don't know if you did get that in the conference finals, whether you take on the Sabres or the Canadiens, but then when it comes to the championship, right? If you take on the Avalanche if it is the Avalanche and the Hurricanes, that's going to be a tremendous series.
Game 6 today in Montreal. So we'll see if that matters, if the Canadiens can advance. Meet Carolina in the conference finals. We got to take one final break, then we will wrap up this show next. Stick with us. It's the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Hi, I'm Julianne Moore. I learn a lot from every role, but some things stay with me more than others, like the impact of Alzheimer's disease. It's important to think about brain health now, because there's so much we want to do. Acting early to protect brain health may help reduce the risk of dementia from conditions like Alzheimer's disease. Ask your doctor about your risk factors and for a cognitive assessment. Learn more at brainhealthmatters.com.
This is a paid partnership with Lilly. Ever wonder who's out there making the world go round? It's truckers. Who unites baristas with coffee beans? Truckers. Who unites dogs with their favorite chew toy? Truckers. That's why Progressive offers truckers even more protection with Cargo Plus coverage to keep truckers moving right along. Quote truck insurance today in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions. Not yet available in California, New York, and Virginia.
Welcome back to the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles. Real quick, Alex, let's run through today's schedule for the rest of the day. But then we've got something we've got to hit before the show wraps as our producer Sean is working to get this in the system. But real quick.
Today's schedule?
Today's schedule. Do you have it?
Yeah, it looks like this.
Okay.
Real Salt Lake versus Colorado Rapids, 6:30 pregame, 7:30 kickoff. That will be on 97.5. You'll have the Bees taking on El Paso, 6:20 pregame, 6:35 first pitch on 12:80 a.m. Also want to remind you that we do have some action going on tomorrow. The Bees taking on El Paso. That one starts at 1:50 pre, 2:05 first pitch. You can catch that on both 97.5 and 12:80 a.m. And then the Utah Royals taking on Racing Louisville, 5:30 pregame, 6 o'clock kickoff on both 97.5 and 12:80 a.m.
Rocky Mountain Cup today.
Rocky Mountain Cup. Real Salt Lake taking on
7:30.
Colorado Rapids.
That's
Yep.
always a
good rivalry.
It used to always be a fun game.
Yeah,
It's a fun rivalry.
I think it's picked up a little bit more. So Real Salt Lake were dominant. They would win the Rocky Mountain Cup just about every single year. 2 years ago, Colorado ended up winning the cup back, and I think that's kind of re-sparked and reignited the rivalry a little bit.
And that's where Pablo Mastroeni played.
Yes, yep,
So
that's where he
that's
played,
an
and that's where he
interesting-
won an MLS Cup as a player.
Interesting wrinkle to the rivalry. Okay, before we wrap, to all you conspiracy theorists out there, ABC might have just spoiled the Eastern Conference Finals for everybody because this morning they ran a Cavaliers-Knicks Eastern Conference Finals promo. This just happened like literally 30 minutes ago.
Nice.
We have the audio. Sean, go ahead and play it.
So the NBA Finals ends here. The Cavs eye another upset, while the Knicks carry the dreams of all of New York. The Eastern Conference Finals, Cavaliers-Knicks, Game 1 on ABC. So the NBA Finals ends here.
Well, there you go. Tinfoil hat. Let me ask you a question, Alex. Is this spoiling the finals, or is this just because they have a promo ready to run for both teams?
No. This is the script getting leaked. This is the powers that be at the NBA. They already have who they want in the finals. This is like this is Adam Silver giving us a hint of what's going to happen next.
So there's no sense in watching Game 7 tomorrow? Because so allegedly, according to this, the Cavaliers already have it wrapped up.
Yeah.
According to our poor Detroit Pistons waterboarding fan, all of that is in vain?
All of it is in vain.
If he waterboards himself, it's in vain. It doesn't matter?
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's going to be the Cavs Knicks.
He still has not made his statement, by the way.
Oh, man. I was kind of hoping that he would before the show ended.
Me too.
Because I was curious.
I've got to know what he has to say.
Yeah. You'll have to send it to me.
So looking good for Donovan then. It sounds like they're going to win tomorrow night.
No, all jokes aside, in all seriousness, they probably had both ready to roll, right? They have one for the Pistons and one for the Cavs. Like they promos were made ahead of time.
That's how things work.
Yeah, that's how things work. And then they made both of them, and someone accidentally ran it this morning.
I wonder how that gets out because that game's not. It's not like the game's tonight, and this could have been scheduled to run tomorrow morning. The game's not till tomorrow night.
It was probably meant for tonight or for tomorrow night's game, right? It was probably meant for Pistons. Wait, no, because it's on Prime. I don't know how that happens. Actually,
neither.
Someone accidentally threw it in there.
Somebody made a big mistake.
It would make more sense if ABC had the game tonight or had the Game 7, right?
Yeah.
And they accidentally played that one instead of running a Game 7 promotion. But I just realized that it's going to be on Prime Video.
And
so
guess
that
what?
makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, this is. Well, again, we know Cleveland is winning.
Yeah.
So don't bother watching.
No, somebody just cut a promo.
Somebody got fired.
Somebody cut a promo and accidentally ran the wrong one.
The owner of ABC just kicked in the door, Stephen Ross style.
Oh, somebody
to fire whatever producer ran this promo.
I feel bad for that producer.
Yeah.
They leaked the script, man.
They leaked the script. Adam Silver's furious.
Oh, yeah. Calls are being taken right now.
If you had to pick a winner, you going Pistons or Cavs?
Oh, I'm going Cavs.
Are you?
Cavs pull it off.
Really?
Yeah. Cavs,
I don't believe Donovan Mitchell has it in him. I really don't.
Cavs pull it off. It'll be Cleveland and the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Final. That's my pick. You going Pistons?
I think I'll go Pistons, man. I like this this waterboarding guy. That's dedication.
You don't want it to go in vain.
No.
Yeah.
That's like really illegal.
It is.
Like you can't even do that anymore.
Yeah. Can't do it. And yet he's putting himself out there and enduring that pain for his
team.
For his Cleveland Cavaliers. Or, I mean, for his Detroit Pistons.
Yeah. Game 7 tomorrow should be a fun one.
There you go.
Well, we'll catch you next week.
It's been fun, man. Always a good time coming out here on Saturday, recapping the weekend sports. Again, very, very excited for the future of this Utah Jazz. Very excited for what they're able to do at the number 2 pick. But the decision seems very simple. If AJ is available at 2, you take AJ at 2. If he's not, then you go Darryn Peterson or Caleb Wilson.
Ton of coverage all week. Be sure to tune in. The KSL Sports Zone 97.5. DJ and PK, Scotty and the coach, and Jake and Ben, Monday through Friday. Breaking it down as always. And thanks for listening. It's the Saturday Show 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good night's sleep.
Kick off Memorial Day savings with up to an extra $1,000 off select top brand appliances like Frigidaire. Plus, get free delivery at the Home Depot. Stack your appliance lineup with a fridge with an extra large ice capacity and an oven with over 15 cooking modes. Then let the real MVP handle cleanup with a dishwasher's 50-minute wash cycle. Shop appliances at the Home Depot. Offer valid May 14th through June 3rd. U.S. only. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $998 or more. See store or online for details.